Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. Dr. Tolu, you have a story there? Go ahead, please.
Yeah, 2 remanded for offering bribe to EFCC officials. Operatives of the Ilorin Zonal Command of the Economic and Financial Crime Commissions have arrested 2 suspects, Faleti Wahid and Noah Olalekan, for allegedly offering 1.2 million bribe to officials of the agency to compromise the operatives. Also in his custody are 7 suspects for offering bordering to illegal mining activities. I'm just impressed with the fact that people that are offering bribe are being, arrested, not just those that are
EFCC is working.
So I think I'm glad that this is being, so I'm looking at the environment and I'm thinking, well, it shouldn't just be those that are taking that should be, the people that are giving. So that way, maybe even people that are giving bribe on the road and all of that, you can be arrested for doing that. If you are saying don't sell on the road, people that are buying too should also be arrested. So if you are saying don't sell on the road and you are arresting the people that are selling, what about the people that are buying?
Exactly.
So that makes sense to me. Yeah.
And that story in Punch?
Yeah, so in Ekiti State, again, the police command has arrested 2 police officers who killed 2 persons at Ado-Ekiti at the Ekiti State capital. So there was an accident. It involved a Lexus car and a Jinsheng motorcycle. It happened late on Tuesday at the Omisa Jano area of Ado-Ekiti. Sources said that there were witnesses that told Metro Punch about what happened, the pandemonium that happened, and in trying to calm down the accident, stray bullets from the police officers hit 2 persons that were just around the area and resulted in their death. So somebody did not want to be named, but the person saw what happened and said the 2 people were rushed to the hospital, but they died before getting to the medical facility. And they also said that a lot of youths were aggravated by this, saying that the person had just, the vehicle, they are preventing the driver that injured a motorcycle rider from escaping, and then it resulted in 2 people now being dead based on police trying to calm the situation. But they've arrested the police officers, and they said that justice will be brought to play. So I'm happy that the police is inter-regulating itself, EFCC also inter-regulating itself. That's what we need. It would also increase the level of trust in our forces.
Okay, Daily Sun, very quickly. Insecurity, reps reject engagement of mercenaries. APC, PDP in verbal war over alleged shooting incidents to halt the CVR in Edo. Tinubu signs bill returning old national anthem into law. Okay, so I have our president who yesterday was the biggest story online. So President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has signed the National Anthem Bill 2024, reverting to the old national anthem of the Nigeria We Hail Thee. Senate President Godswill Akpabio announced this yesterday during the joint session of the National Assembly to mark 25 years of the uninterrupted democracy. The joint session sang the new anthem before the arrival of the President and the Vice President Kassim Shettima with other top government officials. If you recall, also our President was supposed to make a speech, but he said he wouldn't make a speech until Democracy Day, June 12th, to give his speech. However, the national anthem was finally signed into law, and we've been forced, for those of us who have no clue, we've been forced to go and start learning.
My children were like,
my kids came home.
We'll not sing this one again.
My kids came home telling me that, announcing to me. I said, don't worry, I should be announcing to you.
Exactly. They are landmark.
And Nigerians,
so they will know both sides. Yeah. They will tell this story.
Yeah.
Nigerians have gotten to work. There's Fuji version. There's Juju version.
Kidding me. Send to me now. Let's see.
I will say
I've been seeing different memes.
I have different headlines.
Major headlines.
So the House of Assembly yesterday, House of Reps. The House of Reps yesterday were, debating on a motion moved by Honorable Ahmed Jaha of Katsina on, the need to engage mercenaries to curb insecurity, the rising insecurity in our country. In his words, Honorable Jaha says, since the security challenges in the country were still lingering despite the efforts of security agencies, it was time the government engaged mercenaries like it did during the administration of President Goodluck Jonathan. Since we are facing insurgency, there's nothing wrong in inviting other countries to our aid. Nigeria is not as powerful and influential as Ukraine or Russia. there's nothing wrong in bringing in mercenaries to clear our land of insecurity. If not, the hunger we faced last year will be worse than next year's. And he said the strategy now is to attack farmers and prevent them from going to their farmlands. He also went on to commend the security agencies, but said they needed assistance. But the immediate past Deputy Speaker of the House, Idris Wase, argued against it completely. He said whether or not government should engage mercenaries was not something that should be discussed publicly. He was of the opinion that it was not an open conversation. So such measures, whether they will be taken or not, were supposed to be discussed privately, codedly as well. He said asking any country to send us mercenaries is an insult. That's from Abbas Adigun. It's an insult to the giant of Africa that we are. I don't agree. Our security agencies can work with retired service chiefs to get this work done. That I agree as well.
Keep doing the same thing and get
No, we can bring in old service chiefs if they are still of
We've tried that before now. They've done this before.
So we also need to increase the capacity of our agencies, and then he went further to add that our security agencies should give it the right motivation to encourage them. He said whenever they go out to work to fight banditry or anything, it's 50% chance that they won't come back. What happens to their families? So some of these, their allowances and provisions should be increased to encourage the courage to fight as well.
Okay, so,
yes. So I have a story on the 20 billion. That's part of the renewed hope agenda. The federal government 50,000 grants given to 402,283 beneficiaries. So these funds were disbursed through the Ministry of Trade. Through the Ministry of Trade and Investments. They were able to. They said the beneficiaries selected from the 774 local government areas received a direct payment to their bank accounts via their bank verification number. And then they said most of the nano businesses that they gave these monies to are food services, ICT, transportation, creatives and artisans of these 774 local government. And they targeted 70% of women and youth, 10% of people with disabilities, and then 3% of senior citizens, and then 15% distributed to other demographics. And then they said some of the local government, they gave the amounts, the number of people that they gave monies to. Zamfara State have 977, Omala in Kogi State with 921 recipients. It's so long, but they are able to get through to everybody in those 774 local governments.
Okay, Vanguard, very quickly. 1 year in office, my government's walking the talk, says Tinubu. Biafra Day, Mba police move against sit at home. 15 new high-capacity ferries will boost Lagos economy, says Sanwo-Olu. Edo Guba government APC war over attack at voters registration center. Emirship tussle, NBA fumes as CJN summons FHC Kano CJs over conflicting orders. First anniversary. I've kept the faith with my promises, says Oborevore. And I think I have one more story here about the buses. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I have a story. It says Tinubu declares 7-month free train ride as Abuja light rail service takes off. President Bola Tinubu yesterday declared 7 months free train ride for passengers as he performed the presidential flag off of commercial operations of Phase 1 of Abuja Light Rail Service, also known as Abuja Metro Rail till December. This is goodies for Abuja people and those of us that are going to Abuja too.
Oh, we thought the rush will not be too bad, Sha. We'll see, and the organization.
6 months is a long time.
A long time.
Yeah.
Okay, so the major headline in the Vanguard, the president, of course, while at the House yesterday, joint session of the National Assembly, he says his government is working the talk. He gave himself thumbs up for the 365 days of his first year in office. He also hailed our democracy, which he says is 25 years of unbroken democratic rule, and is asking us that the citizenry should build a nation for the generations unborn. He's also asking us that we must continue to collaborate, work together, and build our country against the backdrop that we do not have another country that we can call our home, and telling us, also asking us not to take the risk of losing our nation's democracy. And he also sang the national anthem, the new one, the house as well.
All right, so I want to take a bit of good news concerning, not a bit, it's actually really good news from Thailand to the NDLEA. So the charge the affairs deputy head of commission of the Royal Thai Embassy in Nigeria, Mr. Puritz something, who was accompanied by the councillor, Mr. Pera Paul, had a courtesy visit to the chairman of NDLEA, General Muhammad Buba Marwa, and he acknowledged the fact that the good work NDLEA is doing has resulted in a drop in the number of Nigerians in Thai prison. That at a point, Nigerian prisoners in Thailand were about 800, and it was drug-related, and now from 800 to 200. That when he got the good news, he had to share it with NDLEA, that even to give visas in Nigeria now, to give Nigerians visa to come to Thailand, they rate the NDLEA certificates. So apparently there's a certificate the NDLEA issues, a clearance issued by NDLEA to Nigerians, and that the NDLEA work has tightened drug being pushed out of Nigeria to Thailand, which has resulted in less Nigerians being imprisoned in Thailand. Kudos to the NDLEA team for the good work they're doing.
Yeah. So let me go to Enugu State. So the government there has clarified that it did not declare today as a public holiday for sit-at-home day, as IPOB has done. It is even as Anambra and Imo State's Police Command said they have deployed men to offices and schools to counter any threat of lives and property by hoodlums. If you recall, IPOB had declared that May 30th is Biafra Day, and they'll sit at home, that everybody was supposed to be home and no economic activities, that there were issues with WASI, which was supposed to be sat by the children, and IPOB had advised WASI to postpone, WAEC to postpone the examinations. But the governor had assured that work should go on in the state regardless, because they're going to provide security operatives. However, if you recall, Governor Peter Mba engaged the IPOB sometime last year, I believe, in a similar fisticuff, which resulted in many casualties, including deaths and paralysis of socio-economic activities within the state. So it's a very tricky thing for anybody to allow their child to go out there when IPOB is saying. And if you also recall, many people in the southeast are also clamoring for Biafra Day. So remove IPOB is one side, but the people in the southeasterners also believe they deserve a day to remember and acknowledge the pains of the war. So Biafra was. So that's one thing. So Biafra Day is probably a legitimate request also, but IPOB keeping that. Making it look as if the sisters can make it look funny, but I think it's something that is worth looking at, where both sides to see how we can make it less dangerous for these children to be able to do the examinations. Really, really,
all the Southeastern governors should come together and agree
and do something. Yeah,
exactly.
How they want to drive the Biafra Day course and not let IPOB
hijack it. Hijack. Okay, we have to go on a bit. I think that's all we can take on Front Page Review this morning. It's our Thursday, it's our gisting day. We have a guest co-host in the house, but first we have a guest who's going to come in and share with us some of her. She's Sophia. She actually supported us in our 1-year anniversary. She's going to be here telling us what she's doing and how she's developing her business. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.